The president of Uganda, retired General Yoweri Museveni, has taken over the internet in Kenya. The president made remarks about how Uganda is having or should have access to the Indian Ocean.
Export my products. That's why we have got endless discussion with Kenya. Then this one stopped. Then another one comes. Then the railway, the pipeline, the what we discuss. But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars.
Of course, this is a president who has been speaking about the Pan-Africanism, the unity, the integration of Africa. He's one of the most strongest leaders of Africa who has been advocating and still advocating for the unification of Africa. Having Africa as United States of America, the Africa should be America. The states of Africa should all be united so that Africa can progress.
Already where we are now, everything we are producing is in surplus. The internal market is not enough for sugar, for cement, for milk, for what? So what do? We need a regional market.
I've seen Kenyans coming out to make different comments saying Uganda is undermining the sovereignty of Kenya, undermining the treaties, undermining the Kenya's natural resources. I want to dig into a honest conversation, a honest discussion, and how, or of my perspective, of the president of Uganda has been talking about the unity of Africa, strongly saying the African young people, they have been taken by the football in America, they have been taken by the football in Europe, discussing Arsenal football.
So, and he said, now I can now sleep. Because now I have got young people who, meaning that even if he's not there, there are people who can, yeah. That's what Maritime said. But when I look at these journalists of Kapchorwa and the ones of talking about accidents, football, which club in Europe has defeated the other one? Africa is in trouble.
Museveni says young people should discuss things that matter to them. You discuss African young people should discuss Africa's progress, not discussing Arsenal. And here the president is right. And this is why he has been always advocating that the problems of Africa must be solved by Africans. And the problems of Africa needs African solutions. And this is why he comes to say he has access, or he should have access. As Uganda should be having that access to the Indian Ocean. Take a look. The president, to my understanding, says Africa as a continent was created by God as one continent until these colonialists came and started fragmenting Africa. And this the president has been saying, Africa's problem started when these colonists divided us.
But how can we have even a navy? We are cut off from the sea because of the Russian colonial border. Uganda is landlocked. Who landlocked me? Bismarck is the one who landlocked me. Why should we accept Bismarck that he comes and says these ones are landlocked? And why would my brother keep quiet to hear that I'm landlocked? My brother from Kenya. Why does he accept that my brother is landlocked? I hear that Sere is locked in the room. Sere is room locked. and I continue with ordinary business, I should find out what's happening to Saleh.
Yeah.
He's my brother. He shouldn't be landlocked, locked there. He should be free. No, it's really very serious. I really watch Africans and I say, but the ones who are unfortunate are the ones who tried to interfere with us, and we had to deal with them here. But the overall situation needs you young people to wake up.
So this is where the president says Africa should first look at its integration, uniting for common goals and shared values. Market, it should have common market. Using a common market, for instance, I should be selling my products to Rwanda, should be selling my products to Tanzania, to Ethiopia, to Ghana, to Nigeria, to all African countries. Why should the products of Uganda be blocked not to go to Kenya? And we are talking of developing Africa in this century. So why should Uganda not allowed to get to export or import their products through Indian Ocean? And you have to be cleared by Kenya, pay these taxes. Kenya sets up conditions, and here the president at some point is right. So when we go deeper, you have heard there is another new continent of Zealand. That new continent, there is no country that is now owning it. It is underwater. Over 2 kilometers of it is underwater. So coming out to say, and this is how even other continents were created, coming out to say Uganda is a landlocked country, so it shouldn't have access to water. And this is why the president is right. And I sure as someone who may be thinking of who are advocating for African unity, for instance, like me, I may be earning something from Rwanda. I may be earning someone, I think most of people, YouTubers know this. You may be earning for artists. You have seen Eddie Kenzo going to perform in most African countries and even in Europe. And this is how we are supposed to trade, even in other terms and even in goods, in our products. These people come to Uganda, buy in security, in our peace. Why should South Sudan brothers be killed? Why should Kenyan brothers be killed? And why should we let these whites come and destroy Libya? And when we are looking, and this is how Africa, we remain Africa. And here the president says, we should unite as a country, well, as a continent. Start looking at our problems. Start finding solutions as a continent, as a whole continent. Build our army as an African army. Then look for markets as African markets, because we have the common value. We share the same clothes. We may be speaking the same language. Now, putting barriers, this boundary, this you are not supposed to cross here. If you cross here, you need this kind of condition. And that was happened by Kenya, saying some African countries that now it is visa free. And this is the spirit that we need in Africa. So, putting aside these colonialists and how they came in this, how they came to fragment Africa, can we go back to how Africa was? Because Africa was united. Africa was united and progressing. But when these colonialists came, they divided it. So this is what the president is saying. Now, if we have a storage building and it has like 6-step plan, the people, if I go on the 3rd floor, on the 5th floor, on the 10th floor, if I want to use that compound or sit in the compound on the ground floor, am I supposed to use the ground floor? This is why I give you an example. I'm giving you an example of our African setting. Now like in Uganda here, Most of our lands in Uganda here, you find you have a land which is along the road, but still that land goes down up to the swamp. So you cannot, and even you find your neighbor also having the same access to that swamp, and all of both angles. And here, even if your neighbors and you have access to that swamp, and your land touches that swamp, you cannot stop someone, even if it's not your neighbor, to use or to come and use that water or that swamp. For instance, you can't stop someone if he wants to take his cows, his all cows for drinking. You cannot stop him. If someone wants to go to do some mud fishing and carrying out, maybe getting some these papyrus and some raw materials for using, you cannot stop him to use that swamp. Even you cannot stop someone from carrying out maybe like a brick lane, because this is a natural resource. So if God created Africa as a natural resource, this Indian Ocean as a natural resource for Africa, so it is wrong to claim, to me it is actually wrong to claim that this Indian Ocean is for countries just bordering this Indian Ocean. It is wrong, because we are all part. When we are being created, this was a natural resource for us. I don't know whether you are understanding the point. This was a natural resource created by God to help all of us, people living in Africa. Because God didn't know that there will be Uganda, there will be Kenya, there will be Tanzania, there will be Malawi, Ethiopia, Zambia. That's why you see people flying from Zambia to come to Uganda. There should be no boundaries in things that we do. So we should ease our transport, we should ease our trade, we should boost our economy, we should boost our security. Because an attack to Sudan is an attack to Kenya, an attack to Kenya is an attack to Uganda, an attack to Uganda, maybe an attack even to all of us Africans. So this is where the president is right by saying Uganda is a landlocked country. That one doesn't mean that it has no access to the Indian Ocean, to the ocean. No, because in our setting, a natural resource is a natural resource. I can tell you an example. Some of us, we have rocks here in Uganda, but these rocks, someone can go to that rock, do what he wants, can even plant, can even put his maybe dry some crops from there, maybe like beans. Now why should you come and say, this is my this is my resource? God put the Indian Ocean for us Africans, for all of us Africans. When he was creating Africa as a continent, he created it for the people of Africa. So, and put those resources, maybe water, gold, for Africa. So Kenya, I have seen the foreign minister of Kenya, saying Uganda is undermining, President Museveni is undermining the sovereignty and should be aware of those treaties. But look, if we need to progress, we need to take away the thinking of saying, for us we are Ugandans, for us we are Kenyans. On my platform here, I have very many Kenyans. Here on the CTV, we have very many Kenyans following us. We have Zambians, we have people from Botswana, we have people from UK, we have people from Zambia, we have people from Tanzania, we have people from Philippines, we have people from the rest of the world, and they are following here on the platform, and they are giving us support to this platform. So why should you block someone maybe to trade, to import and export, or put some conditions. You're not supposed to use this land, you're not supposed to use this, you're not supposed to use this water. But look, this was so this is what the president says. We need to discuss about the unification of Africa. We need a United States of Africa. We need a United States of Africa. Also, not saying that this is Tanzania. We need to unite Africa regardless of the political affiliations. But even in politics, we can have one African president. You can have a common market, one market for Africa. You can trade your things. Yes. So why should we think that for us we're in Uganda, for you in Kenya, for you in Tanzania, and the things concerning Uganda doesn't concern you? And even this is what even message of other political actors that say that no one is free until all of us we are free. Yes. You cannot claim that in Kenya they have got independence or they have got freedom. But when Dr. Besigye, when he was in Kenya, he was abducted. So it means we need to, if we are fighting to be free, we need all of us to fight to be free. If you are fighting to have a market, you should have a market for all of Africa. If you don't have internet, let's have internet for the whole of Africa. If you have to build satellites, let's build satellites for all of Africa. So instead of saying this is for me, this is for what? So the president is right, and really I want to support him. That Africa should have common market, should have access to, all African countries should have access to these natural resources that were created by God to help us. Yes. So as you reflect on this message, Kenyan brothers and sisters, this is in good faith. We need to support the president. Uganda should have access to the Indian Ocean.
They have all been to the moon. The Americans have been to the moon, the Russians, the Chinese, the Indians have now gone. You fellows, you are here on Earth. Those fellows are on the moon, looking at you like insects. I don't like to be in that situation. That's why I say, you people, why don't you see how to unite? Because Uganda, even if you wanted to build a navy, how can you build it? We don't have access to the sea. The political organization in Africa is so irrational. Some of the countries have no access to the sea. For economic purposes, but also for defense purposes, you are stuck. How do I export my products? That's why we have got endless discussion with Kenya, then this one stops, then another one comes, then the railway, the pipeline, the what, we discuss. But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars. In the future, we are going to have wars. How can you say that you are in a block of flats, that the compound belongs to only the flats on the ground floor, that the compound belongs to the whole block. All the flats are entitled to the compound.
Yeah.
There's no way you can say. So may I just watch these people? You are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this? Uganda is landlocked inside here. But where is my ocean? My ocean is the Indian Ocean. So, no, it belongs, really, me. I'm on the top floor of the block. And then you say the compound belongs only the ones on the ground floor. This is madness. So that's why I say, you people, you better unite economically for the sake of prosperity, if you want prosperity. Market. But if you want stability and also strength in the world, so that you can go and to the moon also. You go to the moon. The ones who have been to the moon are big ones, not smaller people.
Superpowers.
The Americans, the Chinese, the Russians, and the Indians now. Our friends, the British, are still here with us. On Earth, they have not gone. They can't go. It's too much. One country can't manage. The French are here with us. All these fellows, except those four, because size matters. So that's why we say, you people, why don't you look at East Africa so that you deal with the issue of strategic security? These are the 7 points in the manifesto.
Thank you.
Normally when I'm talking in the rallies, I don't have time to go into all of them.
Yeah.
But now that you have invited me, you are the ones who invited me. And you do, once you invite me, you do so at your own risk.
It's our pleasure, Your Excellency.
I can talk to you for ages until you sleep.
The pleasure is ours, Your Excellency. Appreciate.
So our manifesto has the 7 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
And I'm saying this is the only serious manifesto. Because what are the other fellows saying exactly? What are they saying? Museveni agende. In Gende I have no problem. I have got a very safe address. I can go. But the issue is you, the Uganda.
Yeah.
It's not me. Me, I have no problem. I've never had any problem. So that's why we are saying, Banang, from what I hear, those presidents may not have much to offer. Because they don't seem even to understand what the problem is.
Thank you very much, Candidate Museveni, for elaborating why you should be Bugisu's favorite on the ballot, presidential ballot, and also outlining those 7-point manifesto plan that you have for Uganda in case they indeed trust you with the mandate of taking us until 2031. Your Excellency, you've talked about the market, you've talked about skilling, and the other presidential candidates are talking about the unemployment of the young people. And you seem to be scoring, because I have visited with students of a couple of universities here, some of whom I train, the media students, the Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park. Your Excellency, I want to bring you the news from the industrial hub that they have created right now 12,000 jobs.
The graduates of
industrial park, the Mbale Industrial Park, Sino Uganda
this
Mbale.
one here?
Yes, this one here. 12,000 jobs, 12,000, not 1,200, 12,000 jobs, direct jobs, and 60,000 indirect jobs, Your Excellency. Majority of those people, so when you put that in together, it is 72,000 jobs created, direct and indirect. Majority of those people, we see them flooding that stretch, the Mbale Chirinyi Road, going back home, going to report to work. Majority of them, the youth, who have been complaining they don't have jobs. Your Excellency, there are 75 companies, factories.
So that's my thinking to me as an individual. And what is expressed in these videos are words of me as a person, not words of sitting as a company. Thank you so much for understanding this.